we have what may be the final update on the Tour de France crash. So, and this is actually very interesting, by the way, Mario. They actually dropped the lawsuit against the 30-year-old French woman who, by the way, we actually made a video on this, but we're going to mention it anyways. She is currently being held at a police station in Landerneau, Brittany, which is where the first four stages of the tour took place. They're dropping their lawsuit against her because she was the one that started the crash to begin with. This actually shocked me, Mario. I did not think that they would do this. Um, and I have a statement from the tour director. His name is Christian Prudhomme. He said, and I quote, "We are withdrawing our complaint. The story has been blown out of proportion, but we wish to remind everyone of the safety rules on the race. You come to the tour, you hold your kid, you hold your pet, and you don't cross the road carelessly. And above all, you respect the riders. They're the ones worthy of live TV." Um, and yeah, I'll pass on to you, Maya. But before I do this, the source of this article was Reuters. So your thoughts on Tour de France dropping the lawsuit against the fan?
Well, I'm shocked that they're dropping the lawsuit, Nate. But what I'm not shocked about, as I said in the last video, I said I don't think she's going to face that big of a punishment. You know, she was currently being held, but again, I didn't think that she was going to go to jail for like that. I said at most a month, and she's not going to jail at all. You know, and I definitely expected that. I said it in the last video, and we'll put those two videos in the description below. But yeah, I mean, again, hopefully this is a lesson to all the viewers and the spectators for the Tour de France. You know, don't cross the path. You know, like it's common sense too, Nate. That's the thing. It's common sense. You know, you were taught as a kid, before you cross the road, look both ways before you cross the road. Why? Because a car could come if you don't, and bad things could happen possibly. But in this case, it's the same thing. Why are you like holding a sign across from the path? That's a narrow path as it is. You're just basically limiting the space that they have with that sign. And again, like I said, I don't think the woman meant to do it and cause harm, but it was a careless act by her. You know, I hope she learns a lesson. Like, hey, look, I shouldn't do that again. You know, I was literally headline news or in front cover news for ESPN. You know, hopefully she doesn't do it again. Hopefully she realizes like, hey, you know, all you can talk sports did 3 videos on me and everything like that, and they're not good. And they basically called me careless. You know, I'm just joking. But overall, what I'm not joking about is it is a serious thing. You know, some racers did get hurt. One of them had to withdraw from the Tour de France because of the injury. So again, it wasn't a good thing for nobody. You know, she got arrested. She was held in the police station in Landerneau. So again, it wasn't good for nobody, Nate. But overall, I didn't think she was going to get that big of a punishment. You know, I didn't think that was going to happen because A, she didn't mean to do it. B, like even though somebody withdrew, like again, and other racers got hurt, which by the way, I'm wishing them a speedy recovery as well. It wasn't like anything like serious happened, you know. So overall, I hope that this is also a lesson to the Tour de France. I hope that the director, Christian Prudhomme, I hope that he realizes like we need to come up with better safety regulations to protect these cyclists, because something like this can't happen again, you know. Which is why we talked about putting the spectators up on the hills and putting like something in front of them so they don't cross it, you know. And usually, and sometimes it's as simple as like for example, you know, sometimes it's as simple as this. When there's a crime scene, Nate, right? When there's a crime scene, there's yellow tape around the crime scene that says do not cross. So most likely, what don't people do? They don't cross it. Why? Because it's a crime scene. It could be something as simple as that. It could be something as putting a fence or something like that. You know, it could be something as difficult as putting a fence. Who knows? But overall, I hope that this is a lesson to everybody, you know, because the cyclists are the most important factor of the race, you know. And again, if their health is being at risk because of careless acts, that's not a good thing neither. Now, again, what I don't know, what I'm not aware of, and if somebody could put this in the comments, please let me know. I'm not sure if that fine of 1,500 euros is going to stay with her or that got dropped with the lawsuit. I'm not sure. It doesn't say it in the article. But overall, they said they are withdrawing their complaint. So maybe it means that she's not going to get fined either. Who knows? But overall, Nate, this was it was a very unfortunate event that took place. I hope that she learned from it. You know, I hope that the Tour learned that they need to come up with better safety regulations. And again, to the racers, I wish you guys the best of luck in the future and in the tour. And again, we'll see what happens, Nate.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm this woman, I'm counting my blessings
Right.
because you just walked away from something huge, man. See, if that were here in America, you would have definitely been facing jail time. I'm just saying, if this happened in America, you were facing some jail time, and even then, most likely it probably wouldn't have happened because they would have probably been smart enough to put fences around the track, like I've been saying. That's why I partially blame the tour because if you're having a track with fans around it, the least you can do is put a barrier up, right? Nah, it's common sense. But look, obviously, most of it is the fans' fault because even though there isn't a wall and there is racers, you know better than to cross the street.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that's just you. That's just common sense. But at the end of the day, I look at it on both sides. Like, yeah, she shouldn't have crossed the track, but the tour should have put something up to protect that something like that from happening. Because if you don't, it gives people too much freedom. You know what I mean? It's like giving your 16-year-old kid who just got his permit your car for the very first time without him with any supervision. Obviously, that's not possible here in America because if you're 16 with a permit, you have to have an adult. But say you did do that, okay? What are you doing? You're giving him too much freedom, right? It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same situation going on here. But at the end of
Right.
the day, you know better than to go on the racetrack when there's racers on. That's just
Right.
at the end of the day, you just know better than that. You should know better than to not. I should say should because there are some people that don't. But
Right. And these people with these signs, like, and again, I'm going to go back to like the protester in the soccer field who ended up crashing into the barricades. Um, the weird thing is like the sign has says something, right? And the protests, like they're protesting something, but because you do such a careless act, nobody's even looking at your protest. Okay, they're looking at you. It doesn't
right,
matter. Like this is what I'm saying. So like, yeah, you had a sign. I couldn't read it because it was in a different language, but you had a sign that was literally caused a huge crash in the Tour de France. Nobody's focusing on your sign. They're focusing on the action that you just committed that caused a huge crash. So at the end of the day, what you did was
but
basically it was worthless.
yeah, exactly, and that's why I always tell people think before you
Right.
think before you. It's common sense. That's what it is. But overall, if I'm the woman, of course, I'm learning from this mistake, and I'm counting my blessings. Again, if you were anywhere else, most likely you would have probably gotten into a lot more trouble. But
Right.
especially here in America, like they don't take stuff like this with flying cars, or at least I hope they don't anyway. But with that being said, to all the racers again that got affected by this, I do apologize, and I wish you guys a speedy recovery and the best of luck. As for the women, I hope you learn from us, and yeah, let this be a lesson to you guys. Don't cross the street with racers on it. Just don't. It's common sense.